Hello everyone. The topic for my today's talk is evolution of application infrastructure. The IT infrastructure that we see today is an output of over 50 years of evolution, from mainframes, which took up an entire room, to providing servers and everything as cloud services to companies. Today, when we use the term IT infrastructure, it no longer means just the physical components like servers, data centers. It's much more than that. When we look at the IT infrastructure today, it's an ecosystem where hardware is just one part of it. It comprises of software which consists of tools like enterprise resource planning, customer relations management, network components like VPNs, network enablement, firewall security, and lastly, most importantly, the humans, which includes developers, system administrators, network administrators, who take care of them, who make sure that all the above components are in place. So the development started with the mainframe mini computers or supercomputers, which some people say. This was early 1980s, and these systems were they represented an era of highly centralized systems. There was no distribution, and then came the PCs. PCs provided flexibility. Mainframes were systems which could be used only by the techies, but PCs could be used by end users, corporate users, and for personal users as well. With client-server computing came the era of distributed systems, where when different machines in different places could connect over network. As internet became a trusted mode of communication with companies, came the web-based enterprise applications. These applications have involved a lot of components, like I said, the software tools and everything. And as our application deployment on all these processes expanded, came cloud computing, which provided us with pool of resources which could be accessed remotely. So there was no need of having actual physical servers with yourself. Now, so when we had mainframe applications, most of the access to it was via the terminals. That was the only way you could access. So where the machine is, that is where your terminal is, and that's where you access it. And with desktop application, with the PCs, there came desktop applications, which are accessible like where the machine is, but still where desktop applications could be replicated on different desktops. But with client server applications came the need of servers. So the initial servers, called the bare metals, also the large individual servers, were just the physical hardware where we could deploy the machine. With internet applications, and as time evolved, as servers became more and more affordable for people, there came distributed servers like rack servers, blade servers, and eventually we reached virtualization. Now we can cover a journey from the application deployment perspective, how how servers have evolved. So when we had bare metals, this is the time of 1980s when the processing power of a computer would be like around 25 megahertz, RAM would be 8 MB, storage would be 256 MB at max. At that point of time, it could only support one application on itself. So this kind of a structure did not create much problem. But as and when resources became more and more feasible, came a structure like this, where multiple applications were being hosted on the same bare metal so that the resources of the bare metal could be effectively utilized. Would anyone like to tell me what were the problems with this kind of a structure? Sorry? Yeah, resource sharing. Also, there was no isolation in between applications. If you see, so the multiple applications. What if I have two applications, both Java, with using so one application can be using Java version 4, another can be using Java version 5 or 6. Now there is no way to know that those two applications won't cross communicate and cause each other to crash. There is always a possibility that one application might hinder the performance of the other. So then came in rack servers. What rack servers were consisted of, but there was a single machine, but the servers were divided into racks. So, for example, each of my bare metal is of, say for example, 1 GB of RAM and 512 MB of storage, for example. And what happens is, now I have isolation of the applications here. Also, there is resource utilization to some extent because it's the same server, the network resources, the flowing space. All these things are being utilized effectively. But again, what if I have an application which say for example, I have each of these as 512 MB RAM machines. I have one application which requires 800 MB of RAM and another one that requires just 200 MB of RAM. If I use these two, so for example, I use these two bare metals to host the two applications, then I have lost my isolation. And the problem of isolation of like having isolated applications comes back. And if I use three different machines, where I use two racks to host my application with 800 MB, and another one to host my application with 200 MB, in this case, I am again wasting resources, my RAM resource here. So, this is when virtualization helped us. So, what virtualization in virtual machines used hypervisors, which was a function which could abstract and isolate the physical resources from the OS. So, these are the type 1 hypervisors which were directly loaded onto our bare metals or the servers and created different virtual machines. Now, this hypervisor with these two machines don't know the existence of one another, but they can still use the same physical hardware. And in this case, this is so this kind of hypervisor is mostly used in our data centers and physical servers which we have. And this type 2 hypervisor, where the hypervisor is loaded on top of the OS, which is existing in my system. This would be where you use tools like VMware to create virtual machines in our own laptops or PCs. That's where it helps us in creating VMs like this. On even with an existing OS, we could create two different VMs which would give us use underlying using the same physical resources. So now the development of servers and everything has taken one track. But it's not like that the applications in itself, the way we develop applications have not evolved. Monolithic applications have been there for a long time, where my UI, service layer, data access layer, all the layers which we usually incorporate in our applications are all clubbed into one cohesive unit. So if I'm supposed to deploy a monolithic application, it may look like something like this, where my entire application here is in one server, and I have one data center which is hosting my data. Now, though monolithic applications did have advantages, like because everything is coupled together, it's one independent unit. It doesn't need anything else. And there are so many cross-cutting concerns like logging, security, and we can combine everything together. On the other hand, in case of monolithic applications, because of the tight coupling, as and when your application evolves, if you want independent scaling, say for example, consider a scenario where I have a web application and I have a lot of traffic coming and hitting my web server, like my UI. Now, even if I want, and my data access layer and all, they can still handle the load. But my web UI is these servers for the web are not being able to handle the load. In case of a structure like this, I will have to replicate the entire thing again. I will not be able to replicate just my web servers. Whereas if there was a way where I could have web servers separate and each like UI layer separate and say all the different services. Say for example, it's an e-store. They will have an account service, an inventory service, which will handle accounts will handle the customer registrations, inventory will handle all the products which I have on sale on my e-store. In that case, kind of a scenario, I can't just scale my UI if I want to. I have to do the whole thing again, which will again cause wastage of resources. So that is when service-oriented architecture came in, where the applications were designed in such a way that they came as a collection of loosely coupled services. So I'll take the same e-store example. Here I have my web, which is communicating with all these services. These services and each of them have their own DB. Now in this case, if I see that for certain reasons, I have used a lot of customers, and my e-store became a hit, and I have a lot of customers hitting, and this particular service alone is not being able to handle this load. I have the opportunity, with the capability to just scale this part of it, which means I'm scaling based on my need. If so, this kind of a structure also helped, like when virtualization in VMs came in, it was a great help because if I was supposed to deploy these applications on the old types of servers which we had, like the actual physical servers, when there was no virtual machines concept, what would happen is I have different components on different bare metals because I want to achieve isolation. That's the whole point I went with service-oriented architecture. So it would not make sense to have everything on the same machine again. And now my resources are still being wasted because not every service may require the same amount of resources. That is so here in Microsoft, like VMs provide great ways of actually hosting microservices applications here. So, any questions? No? So, a normal deployment process normally consists of all these steps. To reach the place where I have my application hosted on a machine, this is all what I have to do. I need to add servers, install all the dependencies that I needed, the configurations that I needed, develop the code, deploy the code base, make sure that everything is up to date, there are no crashes. So basically, something like this goes on, where I code, I package it, and then I have to write either deployment scripts or manual work by system admins, and then deploy it on server. Also, there will be some one-time scripts or manual work done by the system admins to actually create the server. Does anyone see any problems with this kind of procedure?
You don't have the man, you can't do the manual work.
That's true. So, what do you think would be the solution for this?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, everything comes in here. So, there are tools available like Chef, Puppet, Ansible. These are called configuration management tools. And these are system engineering process where we can automate the part of how I want to install the dependencies, what versions I need to install, so that at least when and then with one command I can have everything done. This also saves a lot of time.
You need to back to.
Sorry.
What is the second?
That is the Jenkins which will handle my CI/CD part. Yeah. So this is what is going on. I package my jar and then I use Chef and Ansible in between instead of a manual person or a manual script which is written, so that these parts they can be reused every time, and I can apply the configuration directly. Also, we use now tools like Ganiti are available, which can create VMs on actual physical servers which I have. Now, consider a scenario where, say for example, let's take Flipkart. They have Big Billion Days, Diwali sales, and a lot of other sales. That is the time when the traffic on their sites is the most. So normally, say if they need like 100 servers to support everything, hypothetically, maybe they would need 150 during those days. So in the scenario like this, I have physical servers. What I do is I buy physical servers If I need to scale, I need to buy more physical servers. I need to again create the VMs. Though I have a tool, I still need someone to use the tool to create the VMs in the first place. And then I have to go through the whole process again where I package it, deploy it, make sure everything is working. So, what do you think will solve this problem? Sorry?
Cloud. Yes.
Yeah, so that is where infrastructure as a service started becoming available, where we had service providers which said, say for example AWS, GC, and they're like, hey, okay, we'll give you whatever you need based and we'll charge you only for what you use. That was the time when people. This is the time when people started feeling that maintaining actual physical service for them is becoming very costly. So they started outsourcing their job to service providers. Say my big sale is coming up. Okay, I'll just spun up more load balancers, more servers, more data centers for something. After 2 months, my sale is down. Now I have normal traffic. Now I can use lesser servers. So then these infrastructure, these service providers, what they use is they provide is APIs for the end. Now here in this case, the consumer would be. This is like a B2B model where the consumers would be the other companies who would use their APIs to create servers for themselves. So now, what I have, so Terraform is a tool which will enable us to create VMs on cloud services. The aim initially for like a tool like Terraform was to provide ease of migration as well. So say for example, today I'm using AWS and they start charging me more. And I want to go to GC, Google Cloud or Azure. Then in that case, Terraform started with the aim that they would provide an ease of migration. Though they still do provide that, each of these service providers have, though they implement the same concepts, the way of implementing is very different. So there is still some, varied implementations for the different kinds of providers, but it still eases the process. And in this here, like with these scripts, it becomes even more easier to this thing. But there are still few things that need to be addressed. Say, for example, even though now I have a Terraform script and I've spun up the server, and now my server is going on and on and on and on for 1 year. And then what I do is I think about, okay, let me do some upgrade on my server. I put security updates, config updates, and all those things on my production server, and boom, something wrong happened. So, for example, my code base was using Ruby 2. When I did an update and a patch, it's installed Ruby 3 and moved Ruby 2. And there goes my production server. Now, these long running servers are called Snowflake servers. Just like every Snowflake is unique, if long running servers become very unique, and they reach a point where we don't know what is the state they are in, it becomes very difficult. If once they are gone, you have to start from scratch. And sometimes, even though automation is available, sometimes people do SSH into machines and make changes and everything. If there are long running servers and some change had to be done. Now those things cannot be replicated that easily. That is where server templating came in. So what is done in server templating is it's like a phoenix. A phoenix is a bird, a mythological bird, which rises out of its own ashes. So once it's born, it renews itself again. The idea in this thing is every time I use there is a tool available called Packer, which helps me generate machine images, which encapsulates everything from the kernel to binaries to your code base and other dependencies that you have, and encapsulates into one image. And every time we trigger a deploy, it removes the old server, spins up a new one. So from that concept came the name Phoenix servers. So now if I want to do any upgrade on my server, what I do is I apply that patch on the base image and then use that image so that it's trackable at all times. The only though these are actually it's a good way, there are still some drawbacks, like every deployment process of yours will take a longer time Was you're killing an old server and spinning up a new server all over again. The entire process goes on, and it will also be more expensive in terms of using resources. So now, what happened is when we had these images used to pack your entire kernel. Meaning, if I have an OS which is like 1 GB, then that is where my server image is definitely 1 GB. Or maybe if they provide some good compression, still 500 MB on the, like on an average or just an estimate. Now, what happened in that case is those images were very heavy, and as I said, they had these drawbacks that it took a very long time to run them all over again. They were very heavy processes. That is when the system of containerization helped us. So what containerization did was it completely extracted the kernel out of our binaries and our applications. And what happened is we were left, whenever the image was created, we were left only with the binaries and the application. And the container engine made sure that the OS is compatible with the image which is created. Containerization, the underlying concepts which containerization used were derived from chroot and chgroups. These are Unix commands. So chroots lets you change the root directory of your current process. So for example, I'm in my application folder and I want to do a chroot. It will completely abstract. It will make that particular folder, my application folder, as my root directory. So the other parts of it are extracted out, which makes it lightweight to some extent. And chgroups lets us change the owner of the root or other files and folders in general. So these two concepts were combined together, and then tools like Docker came in, which allowed us to create very lightweight images. And what these images, so Docker, the tool was used to create the images, and those images were run on the Docker engine. These images were the applications and the binaries combined together, and now this became a very lightweight process because it extracted out all the unnecessary part which was not needed. And so there is still a problem which can still be solved if anybody can think of it. There is still something which you can solve which is not solved here. So what happens is I use Docker, I create an image. A running instance of the image is the container. So think of it like if the image is a class, containers are the objects of it. If now here I know, so when I know the how am I supposed to know, or how does Docker know whether which machine it should run a service on or run a container on? What I have to do is I have to see, okay, my service A requires so and so amount of RAM, ROM, processing power, etc. Service B requires so much, service C requires so much. And what I have is I have two machines with this much of capability overall, processing capability, RAM, ROM, etc. Whatever are the resources needed. And now manually someone will have to make the decisions that okay, I need A and B on machine 1 because machine A and B are lighter, but my service C is a little heavy service which will need the entire machine 2 altogether. And what happens when something happens to, for some reason machine 1 goes down? Again, somebody will have to come and hurry up and like, oh my god, our machine is down, we need to do the same thing again. And all this process is still manual. So that is where container orchestration or resource scheduling can help us. So what we want is a way where I have a pool of services and I have a pool of nodes, and they can be automatically allocated based on the need. This greatly solves the problem of scaling and replication. So this is where tools like Kubernetes or Docker Swarm comes in. So I tell those tools that hey, this is the pool of resources I have and this is the services I have. Just take care of it for me. What Kubernetes is okay, say, okay, I want to put service A on machine 1 and DNC on machine 2. And if something happens to my machine, the second machine, it will automatically replicate it to the available resources which it has. So this is the state we are currently in. We are able to have these automations in place. Any ideas on what are the automations we can have in the future?
So,
Yeah, so that is one thing which is upcoming, but basically Docker Kubernetes is something which is very trending in the DevOps culture these days. And hope like the next session by Sukanya and Arjuna, they can cover more about how we can do this. Thank you. Any questions?
talking about
Terraform, yeah.
So how does it use for class cloud compatibility that is easier? For example, I'm in AWS.
Yeah.
Okay, AWS itself is so complex. You have a lot of security policies and things like that. Okay, and say for example, you are on AWS for more than a year, and deep rooted your security policies. And if you have to do, it will be.
Yeah. So basically most of the code is generic. Like you have something like okay config.vm.certain spec I wanted this much. These things can be reused. Yeah, the security policies and all those things they are different for as I said different for different providers and they will have to be handled differently. What Terraform started with was that they wanted to achieve this. But since these varied providers have varied implementations and varied rules in place, they couldn't actually like keep up with it. Maybe something they can come up with something in the future, we don't know. So currently there is customization based on the provider. But they just like what is my specifications of the VM, what are my dependencies, all these things we can you can still have it very like in a reusable way. Thank you.